Hey all, welcome back for episode 3 of Star Control 2, the Ur-Quan Masters. This is Idran.
This is Snow. Howdy.
And we're going to kick off with some mining of the local stars. So we're going to look at some of the nearest ones, and we're going to go ahead and jump straight to Delta Centauri. It's the most mineral-rich nearby. Now, it is a little bit dangerous because it's just barely inside Ilrath space, so we might have to worry about encounters while we're there.
Oh, what could go wrong?
So you might have noticed on the star map that we do have spheres of influence marked, and those circles, whenever you're inside them, any stars within there or travel in hyperspace, you do need to be careful about ships from that race popping up randomly. Right now we only really know 2 spheres of influence, the Ilrath, which we got from the ship that we encountered in Sol, and the Spothy, which we got from Twifo. And we can already see that there's an Avenger right there. So for now, we're going to keep a bit of distance away from it. Here we have a treasure world. These ones tend towards the yellow minerals, which are rare metals. You can see we've got palladium here, we've got platinum, silver, gold. So we cleared this one out, and we're going to jump on to the next. Thankfully, most of the plants in this system are a little bit mild, too.
Oh yeah, can't destroy too many more cruisers.
So we head on to the 5th planet, which is a noble world. As the name suggests, these ones tend to have noble gases, dark blue. So high temperatures you have to look out for on a world, but low temperatures, meaningless. There's no real hazard associated with cold temperatures on planets. Here we come to the 4th planet. We do have an Avenger here that we're going to try and keep away from. Thankfully, our ship is a little bit speedier, so it's not too hard to outmaneuver them like this. Oh, and we've got another one visiting.
They have friends.
So here we've got a Halide world, which, again, has halides on it, as well as the Dark Reds. Which I don't remember offhand what those are, but I know they're not worth much at all, so we're going to ignore most of those. Bromine, I can't remember the name of the category. Anyway, we're just going to pick up the orange ones here and head off. So some of the alien ships are definitely inspired by Star Trek, among other things, and you can definitely tell that the Ilrath Avengers are meant to be a little bit like the bird of prey for the Klingons. Well, our cargo's looking pretty good so far. Corrosives, that's what Dark Red is. Okay.
So they just wait patiently while we mine things.
Yep. Thankfully, you don't have to worry about fights while you're in orbit of a planet. But they do keep wherever they were when you leave orbit. So sometimes you have to be a little bit ready for that. And they're just going to be chasing us for a while. Going to head to the moon of the 2nd planet now, and here we have a radioactive world. Like Mercury, we saw back in our own system, these tend to have the oranges as well, which are radioactives, I guess, but this one also has a good deal of biological.
Ooh.
Each one of those green dots is an animal.
Time to get us some credit.
So we've got bee clouds, we've got these green things, and we've got those weird single-cell looking things.
They are not friendly, not at all.
The bees aren't, at least. The rest seem to not care too much about us. So we're going to try and keep ahead of the bees as we stun them. We're faster than them, thankfully. The green things are pretty quick to take down, just 2 shots stuns them. Bees, 3 or 4. You have to be careful, as you saw there, you can accidentally destroy minerals with the stunner. And pretty soon we're going to try taking on one of those weird single-cell looking things. I think all these have names, but they don't really come up in the game, so it doesn't matter.
It's just mindless animals. Who cares?
Yep. So these ones are especially tough. Up to 4 shots now, I think. 6, 7 to take them down. And they're not very dangerous either, so it's just annoying. That one I'd shot little before this, so damage does persist, thankfully, even if you do leave and come back. Got 1 left. Need to chase it down.
Across the entire planet.
It's tenacious. Really doesn't want to get stunned. But that's everything, so this will be a good number of credits for the Melnorme when we come back around to them. Weird that they're on a radioactive world with a vacuum atmosphere, but...
Well, as the meme says, bees?
And you can see the biological units there at the bottom of the screen. Right now I'm just dumping the corrosives to make a little bit more space. Grays and reds you can pretty much ignore. It's not really worth your time to pick them up. And if you happen to accidentally pick them up, you might as well clear them out because they're not worth all that much. I guess technically I should save onto them just because some's better than none, but... Anyway, we're going to autopilot our way out to the next star that we'll look at. So these guys try and fail to chase us down. Thankfully there aren't many in this system since it is right on the outskirts of their sphere of influence. In deeper in planets you can get way more than this. And you can also see one of them there in hyperspace. See that black dot that's trying to track us down? That's a ship encounter. But we're just as faster in hyperspace as we are in normal space. So, on to Beta Centauri. Here, this middle one looks like a gas giant, so we're going to ignore it and just head to the moons. Here we have a metal world, which has any of the various types of metals. Mostly grays, the least valuable, but get a few precious minerals, a few more valuable things. And that's really the only planet of any worth here. So, head out and continue on. Here's Zeta Centauri. Ultramarine worlds, you tend to find the green minerals and blue. Quick go back to grab these, and I think this might be our first encounter with lightning. There's not really anything you can do to dodge it, you just kind of have to be lucky that you won't get too damaged before then.
That's kind of an asshole mechanic.
A little bit, yeah. Pellucid worlds tend to have very low amounts of exotic materials, and that's about it. So that's all that we've got out of this world. Azure worlds tend to have some life, but mineral-wise they're pretty dead, so let's see if we can take on these weird round alien things, and let's not mess with this world.
Nope.
Yeah,
not today.
That wasn't going to end well. We'll continue on in the Centauri cluster into Epsilon Centauri, much smaller system, which I guess fits the name. I've got another Halide world here, not really much of worth, so we'll just go through and move on to the next star. That will be back to Alpha Centauri to drop off some of this biological data and see if they've got anything worth buying.
At what wonderful prices, too.
Well, hopefully they aren't too bad. I mean, they want customers, so...
As long as they don't ask about purple.
How nice to see you again, Captain. Now, what can we do for you today? What would you like to sell, Captain? The 163 units of biological data we downloaded from your ship earn you 326 credits.
Let's see what 326 credits can get us.
So it's a 1-to-2 ratio?
For biological data, yep. He also mentioned the Rainbow Worlds, information on their coordinates is something else he buys. Those give you a lot more.
These technological breakthroughs
So the way it works is there's a specific order in which you can get the technological upgrades. He offers them one by one. You've got to buy them in that order. You can't skip through the list. And each one costs the same amount. I believe each one costs 150 credits. So we'll be able to get a couple of upgrades at least.
Nice.
At some point in the future, all technologies cost 150 credits. The technology we are now offering includes plans for building blaster weapons, twice as powerful as your ion bolt guns. Please remember that these weapons consume energy from your combat batteries faster than your familiar ion bolt guns. You may wish to compensate for this by building additional dynamo modules for your flagship. The technology we are now offering...
That one's nice, but not too great. This one's the one that we really want right now. Lander's going twice as fast.
Double their speed. Ah, yes, speed. An excellent choice for the relentless hunter and craven coward as well. These modifications are simple enough to be put in place.
And see, this is the nice thing. This automatically applies to all of your landers, so you don't need to go back to the starbase or anything.
That's good, at least.
Yeah. In comparison, the blasters are a separate module from the ion bolt guns, so you can have both at once, which there's pros and cons to the blasters, so there's some logic to that. We don't have enough to afford those point defense lasers, so we'll move on and just spend the rest of the credits on fueling ourselves back up.
As you know, we carry a large supply of fuel on board, which is compatible with your engine system. We will be happy to sell this substance to you at a cost of 1 credit per fuel unit. How much fuel do you wish to purchase? Unfortunately, this purchase requires...
And the annoying thing is you can't just spend all the credits you've got on fuel. You've got to go one by one.
do you wish
Slight annoyance, but...
fuel transferred to your vessel? How much fuel do you wish to purchase? You need credits to purchase our trade items. To earn credits, you must sell.
And we don't have any left, so let's move on. Friendly enough. So, we've got 1 star left to hit in the Centauri cluster. So, we're going to be doing a little bit more mining there, and then back to the starbase before we head on to the next leg of our Save the Galaxy mission.
Is there any significance to the halo around each different planet or system?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not really sure about that. I'll have to look into that. Anyway, most of this mining I'll probably end up off-screen after this, but I just wanted to give people an idea about the general types of worlds you encounter here. Here we've got an ultraviolet world. These ones have a lot of the mostly worthless minerals, but a few better things as well. Not really much else of value here, so let's head on to Sol. So when you say halo, just to make sure I'm understanding right, do you mean in hyperspace or here?
In hyperspace, there's that weird... I don't even know how to describe it right. There's
you mean
a
like the
pattern
ring
around each of the systems.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, I understand. I think it's just based on the size of the star. If it's a smaller star, then the gateway in and out will be more filled in. But if it's a larger star, then it's more open around it. So I think that's all that it is, but I'm not positive.
Okay, I just noticed that most of them had a rather unique pattern, so I was just curious.
Yeah. I hadn't really thought about it before. Maybe there's something more than that.
Hello, Captain. By the way, I thought you should know. We are being bathed in a broad-beam hyperwave transmission from the direction of the Rigel star system. Due to the broadcast's wide dispersion, we cannot discern its content.
That's something we'll have to keep in mind for the future, but we won't immediately be tackling it.
Excellent work, Captain. Be careful out there, Captain.
So we got a nice haul, so we're going to go ahead and spend that on some upgrades. Well, after we get our crew back, of course, because we were down to only 10 crew members left after all that mining.
Going to end up emptying out the star space.
Go ahead and top off our fuel tanks, too. Or at least, do we do the whole... Yep, we fill them up completely. Alright. Each fuel tank stores 50, and then you've got 10 in the ship itself. So, we're going to go ahead and fill out the rest of our propulsion systems. So we'll have full turning speeds and full linear speed. It'll make flying around much less annoying. And we're going to go ahead and sell the ion bolt gun that we've got on the main ship, because we usually don't want to go into combat with our main ship anyway. And we can use those resource units to get a few more modules here, I believe. Yep, we add more storage, and that'll be it for this time. And we are now prepped for the next wave of our mission. And in the next time, we'll have some more alien encounters and hopefully some more allies. Until then, thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
See you next time.